hold on, I have to kill the recording. And I have to start it up again. I have to cut the footage. In order for it to, so you take out 3 with your initial blow. And then you just wad, do you wad deeper into the ranks to take out another 3? So you're just doing wide sweeps of your scything blade and just catching as many of them as you can in your blade strikes. They do not have, by the looks of it, they don't have the armor to resist you.
Is this, like, scaring them at all?
D100. So, the squad you're in the middle of, no. Although they are seeing their brothers and their brothers die, they're still not daunted. So you did your 2 strikes. What about Chi? Is she going to jump in? Yeah. So Chi and the owlbear are right behind you. Yeah, they're going to go, so like, they just saw you do 2 sweeps and then they barrel in. Owlbear's going to go for his slashing, which does, like, that does armor shredding. So he cuts their armor off, which leaves them open to Chi, and she's going to just do a... She tries to slash them, but they're now on guard a little bit. So she goes straight for a bash to get the center one. Okay, so what is your problem right now? Your problem is that you've attracted the attention of every goblin in the area. So now they are moving in massive hordes to surround you.
Now would be the time we gain backup, please.
Your what?
I like yell out to the walls, now would be the time to gain backup, please.
Okay, so... And, problem is the soldiers are not moving. They're said to hold the wall. As for me, I'm trying to get out, but the gate is shut. And the gate doesn't seem to be opening. I mean, like, I'm screaming, you know, let out! She needs, she in need, but the guards aren't moving, and they're not opening the gate.
Okay, can we just, like, jump out of here now?
Okay, so I'm just gonna barge the door down. So it has no resistance to me, so I pretty much just ram the door down. It's like, if you're not gonna open it, I'll open it myself.
Does the giant tree man scare them?
Still not daunted.
What the fuck is with these goblins?
They're very highly motivated, apparently. So I go straight for a second charge. Let's see how they do. Not so well. So I get to roll a d3, because I get that charge. Actually, how many ranks are there? There's like a d6, right? There's like 6 ranks of soldiers. So I could get up to the 4th rank, which is right near you, about here. And that means, oops. That means let's see, that's casualties, 80% of how many? How many of them are alive?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It is a
11.
4x5 block, so 80% of that.
4x5 block.
Times 0.8, which is 16 goblins are going to get, like, basically tossed aside from my head charge. So that's not good. That the guards are not. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How much did I say? 16?
Yeah.
So I just barge them out of the way. So
And you said that was lethal damage, right?
yeah, that's lethal, so they're supposed to be dead. There's got to be an easier way to... You know what? I remember the easy way. You just get a paintbrush, you get this, you just draw this. Now, these guys are dead. Just, instead of putting an X on them all the time, I'll just draw little, like, shapes and shit on them, so it does that. Those guys are dead. Those guys are dead. So now I am pretty much, let's see, yeah, I'm pretty much covered head, like, now my bark is now covered in goblin blood, which is black. So
Okay.
now it's time for the guards are not moving and they are going to retaliate. So the
Great.
four front ones are going straight for stabs. They miss. So you can tell we're putting the fear into them. Like their strikes are not as sure. They're stabbing and they're slashing, but they're not doing much. Okay, so the stabs are the slashes are like, because they're in a frenzy, the slashes are a little bit more accurate. That's a lot of slashes. Let's see, so I can act as a defensive barrier. So because I was nearby you, and they're all slashing, and I'm the biggest target, they're all aiming at me, which means since I have heavy armor, I can resist this slashing. So D100, well, we found a goblin. We found a bunch of goblins, and they were trying to attack, and then I had to jump in there and start bashing things.
Oh, great.
Okay, so am I able? I can't get to you guys. You have to come to me. So that's a D100. If that doesn't work, then you guys are going to take damage. Okay, so you guys are able to basically run underneath me and take shelter while they try to scrabble on top of me and slash me to death. But they can't do it. So I basically have a bunch of goblins all over my back and on me trying to slash me to death. And then pierce my hide. But they're not doing a very good job at it.
So these guys on the walls, do they at least have bows?
Okay, so no, they do not.
You are the most useless wall defenders there are!
Yep. So they have no answer. They don't do a response. So, and some of them are trying to throw like blades and stuff at you underneath. They're aiming at me first, so I have to actually defend myself. Let's see, because that's pierce damage. So I can parry one and I can parry two, which means I could slam two of them. This is my weapon. Oh wait, hold on. I'm not going to survive that. I'm just going to have to do this. So I just kind of do a... Like, okay, so are you caught? Well, I have to do like a spin in order to prevent all the blades from totally destroying my ass. So are you going to get scratched or anything from that? Because I'm spinning right on top of you. So no, you're not going to get scratched by that. So you're seeing that like they're throwing blades and stuff at me, but let's see, does that also disarm them? So yes. They're so desperate to try and kill me that they're throwing their own blades at me, but that means that the closest ones and some of the back rank are disarmed now, so now they're pretty much without weapons. Okay, so now what? I mean, we're up. That was their last desperate attack, and they went as far as using their own weapons to try and kill me, and now they are pretty much unarmed.
I go over here, pick up like a random dead goblin and say, okay. Your leader is dead! Run!
That's deceive. You deceive them into believing their leader is dead. So that is a yes. So, and it may not be that it's well in she's mind. It's more. It may not be because it's a leader. It may be because you're basically holding a body of their comrade and showing it that this could happen to the rest of you. So it's more the symbolism of it that they're afraid of. So like these goblins, they try to disengage, but the archers are not going to allow them.
Oh,
so
shit.
You watching, the archers all pull back their bows and they unleash a volley. That is lethal, and that is a good amount of the back rank are killed.
Oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah, but they're not done with that yet. They're going to keep volleying.
I yell out, your archers have turned on you! Attack!
So, and they're pretty much doing that. I mean, they're trying to scrabble out. They're seeing that they're being betrayed. They're trying to flee in different directions. Just the army is in chaos. Part of them are trying to attack, but they're not going to reach. Let's see. Some of them may reach them, but they're not going to do much. So, like, they're turning on their own. a lot of them are dying where they're standing. They're getting pinned by arrows. I'm pretty much getting set on fire and pincushioned because I'm above you taking all the damage. But since I'm invulnerable for a little while, I'll be fine. So, like, bodies are there... Do a D100. Do you see any goblin that's still alive in the area? No. So not around us. So the ones that got to the alliance, they're still there. But all the other... Oh, yeah, just symbols. So now there's a bunch... Oops. There's a bunch of dead goblins. So I kind of just shake all the dead bodies off me. And there are a bunch of dead goblins pretty much all around us. Like that whole army, that big army we saw is no longer living. You like my new symbols? Does it make sense? That's dead bodies.
Yes.
Okay, so, and those goblins over there, they attack their own. So they're going for stabs and stuff. So either it does no damage or it misses. Take your pick.
Well, it still does nature damage.
Okay, so... But that's distracting two of the squads because they don't have melee weapons. They have ranged weapons, and they can't use a bow that close.
I guess now would be the
So
time to
now
charge
what?
into the archers then.
Say what?
I guess now would be the time to charge into the archers then.
Okay, so are you gonna get out from under me? Or are you gonna... What are you gonna do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so... Are you guys, like, holding on to the owlbear as it starts charging?
Yeah.
Alright, so you're on its back, and it's charging into battle again. This time it's going to try to leap into the middle of the squad. It kind of misses, so... It leaps, but the goblins move out of the way. Like, you can tell these goblins here are more professional than the rabble you just fought. Because they're like, when the charge comes, they're moving out of the way. It's like, they're drawing their arrows. Do you have a chance to defend yourself? Like, they kind of saw, so you have a chance to defend yourself. So they let fly an arrow volley. And at this range, they miss. Like, do you want it to try and hit someone else, or...?
Yeah. Can I make it so, like, the ones firing, like, from either side, they just, like, fire over and hit their...
Well, D100. Are you able to make them basically hit each other? That's a yes. So, as soon as they all aim at you and you see that they're about to fire, what do?
Magic.
How so?
Like, they're firing at me, and I can kind of control nature elements, and, like, arrows are made of wood, so...
Oh, so the fact that it's an object made of wood and fire, do you just stop all the arrows? Do you redirect the arrows? What are you doing?
I sort of, like, mildly turn as if I'm dodging, but I'm actually just making them all just go slightly around me.
Okay, so in short, you're simply pushing the arrows towards the other targets.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are no casualties, but it is crippling damage, so they basically pelt themselves with their own arrows. Some of them are able to be wise enough to get out of the way, but most of them are, like, they are hit with their own arrows and they're kind of crippled. At least momentarily. So that gives you an opening.
Shuffle.
Just gonna go. So are they all crippled? Yeah, so that's pretty much lethal damage. Oh, they are not any tougher than the other guys. Like, their armor, they still don't have enough armor to actually resist you.
And then
so you do a wide slash, then you run that way. Then you do a wide slash downwards.
And stun the guy at the top.
Yeah. So, and then you just bash that guy, just for good measure. And she's going to try to take out the disabled ones. You really need to improve her accuracy. I still have to work on that system. I'll do that this week. So, slash and stab. And as soon as I say that, it's like, no, I don't need to be changed. My accuracy is just fine. It's like, no, I don't believe it. So, what is their armor class? They have no armor, so they have a sort of resistance, but not that much. So they don't get bonus damage. So that's lose the armor from the first 3 slashes, and then lose some health. So not enough to kill. Like, she's not an expert soldier, as you see, or at least, you know, she doesn't want to. She's doing this kind of reluctantly. It doesn't seem like she wants to fight.
Hmm.
And she tries to bash, but he's like, although he's crippled, it's still got enough of a mind to not get concussioned by whatever is coming at it.
Does the owlbear get an attack?
Yeah, so he gets to just slash straight across, and he misses. And go for a bite. So the bite is enough to kill that target. He kind of misses because, you remember, the owlbear's trying to fight with a bunch of weight on his back. So it's kind of hard to hit anything like that. And as for me, I'm going to try and... What am I going to try to do? My character is extremely simple. He's a warrior. That's all he's built to do. Yeah, likely. So, go into a charge. Use my athletics to just knock them aside like ragdolls, which I do succeed in doing. Let's see, what about fatalities? None. So, I'm just throwing them back. Let's see, crippling damage? No. So, I'm knocking them aside, but they're still able to just get upright.
Are they at least stunned?
Let's see, are they stunned? They are stunned they are dazed from the fact that I just charged into them. That's good enough. So, like, it may not have hurt them, but it did knock them aside. And I got one the attack, and then I just used my weapon skill to try and pulverize one. That's a crit, so that's a crit fail on that, so there's no way I could miss. So that's pretty much flatten one that's been crippled. Okay, so what is their opinion? They might not stick around. I mean, you're in the middle of their ranks. So, are you going to try to push them over the edge, or are you going to just see what happens?
Yeah, I want to scare as many of these guys off as I can.
Okay, so what do you do to scare them off? If you can, let's see, yeah, what do you do to scare them off?
I just, like, throw corpses into their ranks, I guess.
Okay, so you're just picking up the bodies of the recently slain and throwing it at the ranks. So you pick one corpse up and you throw it. That's D100. So you're throwing it at a still living squad, and that's enough for them to just try and cut and run. Like, these guys, like, everybody focuses on you, and then they see that you're the one who threw the corpse, and so these guys start to flee. Do you try and stop them, or do you just let them?
Those guys? No, they can go.
Yeah. So those guys are fleeing. These guys are backing off coolly. Like, although you hit one of them with the body, they're backing off, and they're keeping their bows drawn in case you make any sudden moves towards them.
Okay.
Okay, so... and they just start wandering away. Okay, so that's one corpse. You can keep throwing corpses.
Get your corpses! Get your corpses here!
You're throwing a second one into that mass, and they are also intimidated. Like, these goblins... like, this is the problem, though. These ones have almost nowhere to run. They can't go back because the town's that way. Can't go the other way because there's their own blocking them. They can try to go past you, but they don't know if they can, and then I'm below them. So they're kind of pinned in. So they back off, and they're pointing in all the directions, but they don't know where to go.
I yell, drop your weapons and you won't be harmed.
They immediately obey. As for the other archers, they, not so much. These ones are going to do the same thing. They're not about to be captured. Like, they see that there's a way out for them. They just walk this way. What am I going to do? I'm not about to just keep fighting. It's like, if we can just scare them off, we can kill them later. for now, it doesn't seem useful. So as for me, I'm going to try to intimidate him. It's like, you see, you no chance. Flee now, save life. Stay, you die. And they're not intimidated by... They're more intimidated by you. Not so much me. Like, me, they draw their bows on.
Well, I'm the one who's, like, literally just throwing corpses at them.
Yeah. So, they get a good flame arrow off on me, but I'm currently invulnerable. Like, this is the last turn of my invulnerability. So I am stuck with flaming arrows, and they are still not... They're not convinced. So you use 2 actions to throw corpses. You're going to have somebody else do it, or something.
Gee, help me make them run.
Okay. So she just follows suit, and she just throws a corpse. And then, like, they all look up. Even I look up, because you threw it at me. So,
Does it get like?
and she's kind of got that smile on her face, and then you have that smile on it, and she just says, "What? You know, I'm just following your example." And so, like, they're doing the same, though. It's like, all right, so we get it. We're not, you know, we're not going to win this fight. So they're backing off. They're just leaving their dead.
Okay, and then we just capture the guys that aren't dead.
Okay, so the 6 goblins that aren't... So how do you capture them?
I just rustle them back into the city.
Okay, so... Me or you? Who's rustling?
I think... She and I will carry the, like, crippled and stunned ones. Like drag them along because they're already...
Okay, so you're taking prisoners...
And
I guess
then-
I'll wrangle the other 6, since you have 2 prisoners.
Yeah, you and if the owlbear wants to join in.
Okay, so... Well, you're riding the owlbear, so... You just remember, it's the same simple command, you just point a direction and he goes that way. So there's no resistance now, because there's no door, because I broke it down. So, what's your opinion on that, by the way? I had just slammed my face through the door and charged into a mass of goblins.
We might have been horribly murdered if you hadn't have done that. So good luck.
It's like guards do nothing. Me must do something. So, and I'm like walking along, and I'm a horrible physical presence behind them as they're being nudged inside. So, and, you know, arrogant as they always are, the guards immediately take over and they start escorting them towards a prison holding area. Like, almost like they didn't just abandon us in the middle of a field of goblins.
Great work, guys. You were really good at doing absolutely nothing.
So... Yeah, the goblins are now in a holding cell-ish. Now what? Like, the guards don't seem to be talking to you.
I think we need Eagle.
Okay, so go to Eagle. So as you approach, you like you're hearing shouting from like as you're approaching. So obviously she's gonna follow. What about me? I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna try to follow. I'm too big, though. I can't really make it in. I'll be outside just looking through the window or something.
Do those 2 archers go into a prison cell or not?
Who? Oh, the archers? Yeah, of course we're gonna deposit them in a prison cell. So, speaking of which, one of them looks like they're not gonna make it. Just, the one that we disabled, like, I think he may have taken some pretty bad internal injuries.
Then I would kill him.
So it's like before you start going towards there, and the other one is also, like, they're both in a bad way. And the other guards aren't doing anything to allay their suffering. I mean, they're the enemy. That's in their minds. They're the enemy. Why would you help them? And so you just kind of hold on. Let's play the scene out. So there's 2 guards at the front. And they're barring your way. They're not trying to let you in.
Can I just, like, push them out of the way?
Okay, so yeah, they let themselves be pushed out of the way. So you just barge past them. Just get out of the way. You've already done enough. So
Yeah,
one of them, one of them's on his back. Like all the goblins are kind of scrambling to the back of the cage of the cell because they're afraid of you. They saw what you did, and they saw how many of their own you just killed. So to them, you're like a devil. And they see the two, and they don't know what you're about to do to their friends either. They don't know if you're going to sacrifice them too.
Yeah, I crouch down and just like first I try just touching them, finding where their wounds are, and then
okay, so let's do 100. So you remember your medical knowledge is not the greatest. I mean, in terms of goblins, you have no idea how a goblin operates. Most of the time, you're killing them. You're not trying to save them.
When in doubt, dump life force into them.
Yeah, so that's usually what happens. Okay, so and the same thing applies with magic. It's like you don't know how magically attuned they are. So you're using life force. You're using the standard methods, but the standard methods aren't working. So you might have to go further and say, same thing. It's you have to siphon your own health off to try and revive them. Which that'll likely happen. So that's a percentage. What's your D100 look like? How much of your health must you siphon? So a lot of it. Near crippling. So that's... How much health? What's your max health again?
20.
20. Alright, so... Times 0.92. That's 18 health. So you nearly kill yourself. But you're able to save them both.
Excellent.
So obviously she's in the same room and she's... Are you able to still stand though after all that? So she is not very happy with that. She picks you up and she's berating you right there. It's like, why do you always got to do this? Why do you always have to... It's like, it doesn't matter who it is. Don't you know there's always going to be more wounded?
Yeah, but I'll help them.
And can you walk?
I just rolled for that and that was a yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can stand, but that doesn't mean you can move. Just because you can stand up doesn't mean you can move. So yeah, walking is a little bit difficult for you. You're stumbling, and so she has to basically be on your shoulder. You have to be on her shoulder to walk straight.
And I have a staff.
Yeah, and you have a staff to be on the other hand. So your arm is over her shoulder, and then you have the staff in the other hand to walk with. So it's kind of like crutches.
Yeah, and then we, I guess, limp to Eagle.
Okay, so you guys limp there. And the goblins are not quite sure what to, think. Because one second you're murdering all of them, the next second you're healing some of them. So they're not quite sure what to think. Okay, so you're limping to Eagle. And then And then you hear it clearly. It's like, all right, who ordered it? Who ordered the city to just be sealed? And so it's like, I don't know, sir. Somebody overwrote my commands. I gave them a direct order to leave the chart, and so you interject.
I come in and just sit on a chair.
It's like, and they're surprised. It's like, what happened to you? You weren't hurt that bad, were you?
I wasn't hurt at all. I helped some goblins.
Okay, so and then Eagle immediately goes back to frustration. It's like, I expect my commanders to have command of their armies. What happened out there? And it's like he can't explain it. It's just he was giving them orders and they weren't listening. They weren't doing anything. They were just standing there. Almost like they didn't know who he was or anything like that. It's just, he's never seen anything like that before. So, and he immediately says, I want every guard checked out because, the guards may be compromised. So it's like, and he's questioning. It's like, how? They kind of ignoring that you're there. And it's like, how? How are we supposed to check a town full of guards for any sort of conspiracy or any sort of mutiny? So, what's Eagle? Eagle's like, we'll find a way. I don't care how you do it, just get it done. And so with that, the guard captain just leaves. Like, he'll find a way, or he'll try to find a way. And so Eagle kind of sighs and he looks at you. It's like, I'm sorry for what happened. They were supposed to go out there with you. I don't know why they held their positions. Somebody gave counter orders.
That's not good.
See, it's like I likely should have went out and saw it myself, but I was knee deep in paperwork. Maybe next time.
Anyway, it was like, I don't think we took any casualties. I sort of look around.
So, and it's like, well, that's not the point. It didn't seem like they were trying to inflict casualties. I think they were just after some. I think they were after one of us. It's like, this is getting very strange. I mean, it's been a while since we've had an attack on the town. Why now? And why goblins? Normally it's supposed to be mercenaries or humans. So it's like, we checked some of the bodies and there's no sort of allegiance on them, there's no sort of affiliation on them. Why did they attack?
I guess we're just gonna have to talk to them.
Okay. It's like, yes, I've heard of the prisoners. I've heard that you risked your life again to save some of them.
I start getting up and start limping. Come on.
Okay. So Eagle just shakes his head and it's like, you're gonna be the death of yourself one day.
I've been trying for
so
long.
I'm tall enough where you can simply walk underneath me.
Anyway.
So you're not even like, I'm just kind of trundling behind you and Eagle's following along.
I do like pat you on like one of the legs where I can reach and say, good work, man.
Which one? What, me? Oh. I kind of do a nod. And I'm trundling along. So, am I subtle? I'm sort of subtle. I'm not as loud as I should be. So the guards, they're gonna try to bar your way this time, but then they see Eagle and it's like they realize, no, just don't even bother. They also see the anger in his face that, he's like eyeing them warily, like, you just betrayed my trust type of eye. Can I see into... I can see within, like, bars and stuff. Like, my face is outside, so... some of the goblins are looking outside, and they kind of scramble this way, and then you scramble in, and they scramble back the other way.
I move in and just, like, sit down.
Okay, so... Chi and Eagle are kind of being a barricade. They're not doing a threatening gesture, they're just physically present there in case something happens.
So, didn't I tell you came to the wrong fortress? Anyway,
okay, so,
why were you here?
Okay, so they don't answer, they're just trying to keep as much distance between themselves and you.
Come on, I'm not going to harm you in any way.
Okay, so one of them is brave enough to say something. It's like, you kill kin. You hold back, but you kill us soon.
But why would I do that? That's horrible. Just murdering defenseless people.
Yeah. It's like, self-defense or not, you kill kin. And you make us prisoners.
Only because we don't know whether you're still a threat or not.
And he kind of chuckles. It's like, he chuckles and it's like, we no weapons. We just goblins. How we threat.
I don't know. If you got loose, you could bite one of the civilians' ankles.
Okay, so it's like that joke.
Yes, I do.
So not funny joke.
Oh, come on.
It's like,
I like turn
it's
to
like
Chi.
we life in danger and you joke.
My life in danger and I joke.
Okay, so it's like not same for goblins.
So, are you going to say anything, or are we gonna have to...
And so he just says no. He just shakes his head no.
Okay, Okay, come on.
Well, okay, you
Start
just
looking
leave.
out. I tell them to, like, follow me.
Okay, so yeah, and this I guess they just follow suit. You're just kind of shambling, though. You're not really walking.
Yeah, and then I limp to the gate.
Well, what's left of it? I mean, there's a giant gaping hole where there was a gate.
Yeah.
Okay, so Owlbear's kind of perched up against the door in case something tries to enter, almost like a watchdog. So now what?
Do the goblins come? Like I was telling them to come.
Yeah, you were telling the goblins they didn't let them out of the prison. You just kind of walked away expecting them to follow you? Like
No,
they would
no.
just be let out of prison? So you walked all the way to the door, and then you turned around and see that the goblins weren't following you. And then what is that? She being the smartass? Yeah, she's like, you do realize they were prisoners, right? That they wouldn't just let them out.
Yeah. Just let them out and let them follow us.
It's like, and he says, you know, we can't do that. They're dangerous prisoners. Then Eagle just gets pissed, and he like picks the guard up and throws him.
Whoa, Eagle!
Yeah. And so he looks to the left and to the right, and it's like, unless it's like, you guys are not in my highest esteem right now. Unless you want more of the same, I suggest you do what she says. So, and yeah, at that point they just obey. Like, and so he looks at you and it's like, sorry you had to see that, but my temper is not in the best. My temper's not the best right now.
Not really helping your image there, but anyway, come on.
So it's like, and so he kind of laughs. It's like, is that another one of your jokes?
Maybe.
Because remember, he's an undead, so what's like image? What do I have to care about image?
Do the civilians move out of the way?
Okay, so yeah, the civilians are parting, and you see that the civilians are not as they don't have the hostility or any of that want. Like, they see you as heroes. They don't see you as soldiers or even adversaries. So you're there, and the goblins are outside, and all the guards are watching, which is kind of unsettling.
Okay, so now you are capable of leaving any time. Will you give me information?
Oh. And so she, like the one who talked, which is one of the bigger ones, the archer. It's like, you have word that we free.
I like point towards Eagle and say like, well, he owns this place.
Okay. So, and he kind of nods. He's got that grin, and then he just gets out of the way, and then he points a hand at the door. It's like, you can leave whenever you want. And so it's like, then we tell you, but you must give us something in return.
Be?
Yeah, it's like, we cannot leave. We cannot leave here. If we leave, we killed as well. Those who flee, they dead men walking already.
Eagle, you fine with that?
It's like, not really, but it's not like we have a choice.
Shrug.
So it's like, and so he starts to produce a piece of paper, and he offers you the paper. Are you able to even get it? Like, do your hands also work, or is it just okay? So you're good thing your hands still work. So you take the piece of paper and hold on to me, and surprise, surprise, it is the same list that Stermon got earlier. Which is, it is a list of names. Your name is on there, Eagle's name is on there, Chee's name is on there. And then he also offers you the coin purse, which is the one with half a bar of favor in it. It's like, we tasked with killing killing you. This list say big reward.
Wait, have you already killed someone off this list, or is this just upfront money?
Some, not all. And so he's pointing at some of the. So you roll a d7, because that's the out of the 7. There are 7 names you don't know of on that list. So out of the 7, 5 are already been crossed off. So a good 5 of them have already been killed. But according to what the list is, it's like not enough. Until whole list killed, reward mean nothing. No reward.
Huh.
Let's see. We lied to. We thought kill 1 get reward, but cause unclear. And so it's like now we know. List trickery. Play on greed.
Seemingly so. So, why did you come here? Did you know that people on this list were here?
Yes.
Is that
We told people were here.
by who?
And so Finn just apparently appears out of nowhere. And he's sniffing him. And then you see like a light bulb turn on in his head. It's like, that's what that smell was.
Ah.
So Finn looks at you. It's like, would you like to know, or would you like me to explain it some other way?
No, go ahead.
Say what?
Go ahead.
It's like they don't smell like goblins. It's like not normal anyway. Not normal goblins. These are probably mercenaries, not really goblins. Yes, it's like if I had to guess, these goblins do not inhabit the swamp. Am I correct? And the answer is yes. So he just nods his head because, apparently he's intimidated by Finn, because Finn is a black wolf with red eyes. He's not even trying to intimidate him, it's just his physical presence is enough to intimidate people, certain people. So it's like, and so he looks at the list, like he snatches it from you. Do you have enough hand to actually not have it snatched from you, or no? So he snatches it from you faster than you have enough time to get, and he looks at it. It's like, I guess I am famous. My name's on here too. Somebody wants me dead.
Well, the next question is who? I say, turning to the goblin.
And it's like, we don't know. We give and list by contact. Strange people.
Who?
They come, give us list, and leave. No explanation. Only on list. And so the list basically, he says, flip it over. And Finn flips it over, and there's nothing on the back. So, and he's looking at it, and it's like, dude, he's looking at you, wondering. It's like, what is he talking about? There's nothing on the back. All I see are the names on the front.
I check for, I don't know, magic or something?
Yeah, see if there's anything magical about the parchment. Nope. So you do a full magic sweep, and just nothing. It doesn't seem like there's anything there. So Eagle checks it, like you're just passing it among each other, and none of you see like what they're looking at. And then Chi goes around and hands it back to the goblin, and the goblin grabs it. And even it's like, where are instructions? There were instructions on back. They gone now.
Maybe there's some form of fading ink.
It's like Finn is like, yeah, most likely. I don't think anybody hired to assassin some of the greatest heroes in this land would let his intentions be known so easily.
Well, did you at least remember the instructions?
So it's like on back of list it's kill targets, gain reward. But instructions wrong. Must kill all targets.
That's
like
can you give me a
we tricked.
Could you try giving me a physical description of the person who was handing
It's
this
like
out?
tall man, taller than goblins, taller than men, large, foreboding, intimidating.
Skin color, like race, anything?
No skin color, just robes.
Anything different about the robes?
It's like no, simple robes, rags.
and you just trust this random guy wearing rags.
And so it's like you saw coin. He offered coin each time target killed. We get coin each time target killed.
Okay.
So it's like, job is job, but we see job is bad.
Good to know.